Every year you tell yourself, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. This is the year that I finally lose the weight that I gained over the holidays. I'm gonna be so strong by the end of the year. And then February rolls around and you realize nothing happened. Don't fear, because this year, all of that's gonna change. In this video, we have a 5-step process on how to set and achieve your goals of 2020. Okay, let's jump into the 5 steps on how to set and achieve your fitness goals of 2020 and crush it. Number 1 is create some long-term goals. Do you want to look your absolute best that you've looked all throughout your life? Do you want to get really strong and hit some big 3 squat, bench, deadlift PRs? Are you planning on competing? Do you want to have a healthy and maintainable lifestyle for you, your family, and your children? Okay, so whatever this long-term goal of yours is, make sure you write it down. A study by Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at the Dominican University in California, performed a study where the result is that you become 42% more likely to achieve your goals and dreams simply by writing them down and looking at them on a regular basis. So half the battle is writing down the goal, being aware that that's your goal, and keeping that goal in the back of your mind all the time when you're making decisions. Number 2, what are your short-term goals? So when people like to make short-term goals, they use acronyms like SMART or COAST. There's a bunch of them out there. But in this video, we're going over SMART goals since that's pretty common and everybody seems to know what they are. So SMART goals are a mnemonic for remembering the 5 aspects of goal setting that make your goal more likely to be met. So the S stands for specific. And this is where you clearly identify your goal and what needs to happen for this goal to be met. Number 2 is measurable. You want numbers, you want something that is quantifiable here. Well, M is measurable. A is attainable. So make sure this goal is realistic and reachable and not something that's too far out. R is relevant. Remember that long-term goal you just set? Well, make sure this goal is relevant to that long-term goal and helps you achieve that long-term goal moving forward. T is timely. Define the time frame of your goal. It could be days, weeks, months, or years. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Let's say I want to lose a certain amount of weight to be at a healthier body fat percentage to increase my overall health. So the goal for this would be Betty will work out 3 times per week to lose 5 pounds by July 1st, 2020 in order to decrease her body fat percentage. So here we have something that's very specific. Will work out and quantifiable 3 times a week. There's a time frame, July 1st, 2020, and it's relevant because losing fat leads to losing body fat percentage, or losing weight leads to losing fat. Okay, how about someone wanting to achieve and pursue a certain skill? So for this one, an example of a goal could be Betty will practice her handstands twice a week in order to perform a 2-second freestanding handstand without leaning against the wall by November 1st, 2020 in order to improve her calisthenics skills. So in this one, we are very specific. Handstands, how many times a week? 2. And what exactly do we need to do to meet the goal? Perform a 2-second freestanding handstand, and then November 1st is the timeline. Okay, what about one on eating healthy? Betty will eat 3 servings of vegetables per day, at least 5 out of 7 days per week in order to develop a healthy eating habit by August 1st, 2020. Sorry for interrupting the video. If you're liking the content, press that like button, and if you're new here, I'm Betty, and in this channel we go over different videos like this one, helpful tips and tricks, follow along workouts, challenge workouts, as well as document my calisthenics progress that I started a few weeks ago. Well, back to the video. So all these goals are very realistic, they're very doable, and they have very specific and measurable aspects, such as working out 3 times a week, eating vegetables 5 days a week, practicing a certain skill, etc. So they're all very doable, and they're all small habits that lead up to a longer term goal. So when I write my goals, I really like using a habit tracker, or I make goals small enough where I can use something that every day will amount to this goal being met. So which leads us into step number 3, which is track your progress. To track my progress, I really like using habit trackers. I'll link to one that I use down below. It's not mine. Maybe someday I'll make one. But you print it out and you put it on your daily, I don't know, mirror, desk, something, nightstand, wherever you look at on the daily. And on the left side, you put in your daily or your weekly habit, and then you want to write how many times a week you want to do it, and then hang it somewhere visible and have a pen nearby. So every time you do this habit, you check mark it off for the day, and that's it. So you want to integrate this into your day by putting it into your calendar, your schedule, your to-do list, whatever you look at every single day to make sure you're doing the tasks that you need to do. I use a Google Calendar, and then I also use a physical agenda to plan out my week on Sundays. Currently, I'm using Todoist and Trello, both free online options of a to-do list and like a planning board. So you can block out time every week. If you're working out 3 times a week, block out the hours that you plan on doing it. If you plan on working out 8 to 9 p.m. 3 times a week, then block that out specifically for working out. If you're planning on eating vegetables, like block out that time during dinner time and write eat vegetables, and make sure you remember. Alright, so once you do it, check it off the list and reflect on it at the end of every week, and don't beat yourself up. That's one of the keys, is that some people, they miss a day, they dwell on it, and then they're just done. They give up for the month or the year or the week, and they say, I'll try again next time. But no, just forget about it, move on to the next day, and just keep going, because things take time. Like we said in the last video, it's small steps, not big lifestyle changes. So if you did it 50% more than nothing, then that's huge. That's a ton. So yeah, reflect. How many times did you do the habit, check it off, and stick to the plan? If not, then keep going and stick to the plan again. And if you didn't meet your goal by the end of the time frame, was it too unrealistic, or was there a specific reason, or maybe the time frame was too short, or maybe it was just something happened that caused you to fall off the wagon? But anyways, try the process again. Okay, so let's recap. Number 1 was set your long-term goal. Number 2 was set your short-term goals that are SMART. Number 3, track your progress. And then number 4 is integrate this daily habit into your day by putting it on your calendar, schedule, or to-do list. And number 5 is reflect and forgive. So question of the day: how do you keep track of your goals and your progress with them? I use Todoist, Trello, and then I journal every day pretty much, and I can look back and see what progress has been made. As for working out, I use an app called Rep Count. So if you're interested in seeing my progress with calisthenics, click here. And then if you're interested in home workouts that you can do at home with no equipment, click here. And then subscribe here if you want to. If not, that's cool. I hope this video helped you out, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'll see you in the next one.